So your main headlines on day 4 of the 2024 Euros. Romania won at a major tournament for the first time since Euro 2000. And my word, how they won. Terrific performance against Ukraine. Belgium flattered to deceive once again. They had 2 goals disallowed in their 1-0 loss to Slovakia. And last night, of course, France edged past a stubborn Austria 1-0. That wasn't the main story, really. It was the fact that Kylian Mbappe has suffered a broken nose. Sports Bar co-host Jason Cundy doesn't think we'll see him again in the group stages.
Deschamps knows that victory has got them through to the knockout stage, right? They want to top the group, of course they do.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to rush him back now. So he'll probably miss the next 2 games. Next time you'll see Mbappe is last 16.
You think?
Well, why would you rush him back? He's going for surgery. He's going
on surgery on your nose, which can be fixed pretty quickly.
But they've got 2 games in less than a week now.
But you can put one of them mask things on, can't he?
I'll be stuck.
Yeah, a carbon fibre
he's not
mask
starting the
on.
next game, is he? Why would he risk it then? So now
Mbappe's going to want to play.
I know he wants to play. He's got a broken nose.
Bit of medical expertise from Jamie O'Hara there. He's got one of those mask things to put over his nose. Pardew, you ever broken your nose?
Yeah, I have. It's not a nice feeling, that.
No,
it kind of feels like your face has kind of crumbled in, you know. So it's the shock of it is actually quite nasty. And looking at his face last night, he wasn't particularly pleased, was he?
It was a heck of a mess, but I think that, Jess Cundy makes a good point, doesn't he? That realistically, they're going to get through the group stages, so now give him a bit of time.
Yeah, sure. Particularly when you won the first game, they're on cruise control really now. So, yeah, it would be look to put him back, get the mask all sorted, get some Demontes in it, make him look good.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
I'm not sure what was the bigger shock, the sight of him breaking his nose or the sight of him being through one-on-one and then curling the ball wide of the post. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and then he got the managers get back on that pitch and waste some time, didn't he?
Yeah, you would never have done that, would you?
No, never, of course not, Jeff. It was actually they had a good attack at the time, so I could see what he was coming from.
Yeah, Didier Deschamps was hammered by Roy Keane for that,
yeah.
But I think every manager would have done it because they weren't exactly hanging on, but they were under a little bit of pressure. It wasn't a convincing performance from the French, was it?
No, I mean, they should have wrapped the game up. They had 2 or 3 clear chances, but, when it got like the England game, didn't it? Just got edgy for the French, at the end, and they were like, oh, just one mistake here, and it could have been costly, but they got away with it, and comfortably 3 points.
Yeah. Courtesy, of course, of an own goal as well. Belgium, what a shocker they had yesterday. I mean, it's too early to say that they're in danger of going out at this stage, despite the fact they've lost against Slovakia. Romelu Lukaku, a couple of goals ruled out, 1 for offside and 1 much more controversially for a handball in the build-up by Lois Openda. Al, your former striker Dean Ashton was not happy on commentary.
Letter of the law, but it's nonsense. What's he meant to do when he's battling in that situation? He gets a shove, he's got an arm round by the defender, he's then trying to hold him off, it grazes his fingers.
Goodness me.
He doesn't gain an advantage at all from the way that the ball grazes his fingers. The ball's going that way anyway.
But the rules are the rules.
I know, but it just feels so wrong. So wrong.
So, obviously, Dean Ashton thinking the goal should have stood. What was your view, Al?
Well, ex-player of mine, according to Dean Ashton, and I thought he was spot on. I mean, when you're naturally moving and running and fighting for a ball when it touches your hand like that, I just don't see it as a handball. But we now got that indicator in the ball, of course.
Yeah,
and now they showed that on the screen. It's hitting his hand.
Because hitting his hand doesn't automatically make it, mean that the goal should be ruled out.
I actually heard one of the experts on the TV saying about, his hand was above his shoulder, so therefore it was in an unnatural position. And I was thinking, well, it wasn't actually above his shoulder, and it didn't look unnatural to me at all.
Yeah. What do you think about this technology then? Effectively, this technology inside the ball. I mean, it's a bit like the snickometer in cricket. Of course, the snickometer in cricket, we can tell that it's hit the bat or otherwise. But how do you know that it's hit the hand? It could have hit any part of the body, and surely that will register on this snickometer?
Well, I'm assuming that it's all linked to the footage. So they're looking at the footage and then looking at the indicator to see that it's correct. I mean, you know, Belgium were unlucky, wasn't they? There was a couple of really tight calls. One thing I thought was interesting from the offsides. Do you know this automatic offside?
Yes.
It seems to be more kind of accepted, don't you think, than our kind of rule where we're like, you know, looking at it and going to VAR. And I actually think that probably works better. I think everyone in the stadium caught and went, oh, okay, it is offside, even though it was like, I don't know, a millimetre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And it's heading the Premier League's way, isn't it? And it has to be an improvement. Romelu Lukaku will think it wasn't his night. It wasn't the Belgians' night either. Do you think that, obviously, we talk about their golden generation over the years and they've not managed to win a major tournament. Are they just over the top, if you like?
Oh, that team is a shadow of the team when they was all playing, in my opinion, as well. And also they're aging, aren't they? Ben Ryan and Lukaku, you know, they're not at their peak, so to speak. I actually thought they was laboured yesterday. But you know they were still okay. It's like at this international level, the margins are so tight. You know, obviously I watched the Spain-Croatia game. Croatia looked just over the hill, and usually these tournaments, it's that kind of injection of youth that gets you the win or the trophy.
As far as Slovakia are concerned, though, I mean, we shouldn't forget this is the greatest day in their footballing history, bar none. Who impressed you for them?
Well, they had it just goes to show you about footballers, doesn't it? They had a midfield player called Lobotka in midfield who looked about 5'6", maybe 5'4".
So quite tall then for some of us.
You know, and he didn't look particularly physical specimen, and he absolutely dominated the game. Everything that come out to him, he kept it. I mean, they play actually a really kind of full game. You know, they're passing out from the back. They got a little bit edgy towards the end, but there was a real football inside, and he was at the heart of it. Plays for Napoli. He was excellent. Probably the performance of the tournament for me.
I mean, maybe we underestimated them. You know, they lost twice in qualifying. They were both against Portugal, and both by the odd goal. Interestingly, their manager is Francesco Calzona. He used to be a coffee salesman. Well, now he can smell the coffee, can't he? Yeah. Certainly here in Germany. Coming up, we ask the question, can Ronaldo still be the main man for Portugal as they get their campaign underway today, live on talkSPORT? That's next.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.